morning, I'm Jonathan Swingler. It could mean thousands of jobs and provide a long-term answer to the country's pressing energy needs. It's hoped giant new wind farms will be developed off the northeast coast after a deal was reached to allow hundreds more turbines in the sea. Now, a mayor says it's big news for the region's future. Peter Harris reports.
They'll never be visible with the naked eye, but in the coming years it's hoped new offshore wind farms will help power the region's economic future.
Over 400 new turbines, but what that means in reality is the North East will be able to power a quarter of homes in this country. That is absolutely massive. 10,000 jobs as well, and £12 billion worth of investment for our economy. So this is big.
The deal involves the Crown Estate leasing sites in the seabed off Northumberland for 400 new turbines. Today, politicians and business leaders were in Blythe, showing local children what could be a source of future jobs, and the government says a highly topical long-term answer to the country's needs for cheaper electricity in a volatile world.
We're learning the lessons from what's happening in the Middle East and recognising that it is even more important we move as fast as possible to a clean power system and invest in communities like this. The North East has been at the heart of offshore wind since the very beginning of Britain's offshore wind. In fact, we want to see more of the jobs and opportunities come with it, and that's why we've got an industrial policy to deliver not just the energy but the jobs that go with it.
Today's event attracting cross-party support with Conservative Northumberland County Council leader Glenn Sanderson in attendance. Coincidentally, today also brought news of a further scheme in the wind energy sector. This is the Smulders Yard along the coast at Wallsend. They have a contract to build a giant structure for another North Sea site. It's all part of the infrastructure needed to get the electricity generated by the turbines into the grid. This yard, where they're now building components for wind farms, has a famous history. It was once the Swan Hunter shipyard in Wallsend, and the North East Mayor, in promoting these green industries, argues they're a continuation of the region's heritage, where once there was mining and shipbuilding, these green industries can help replace that. A boost for Tynesiders like Jay.
Fabrication and welding's always been a strong point of Tyneside. The river, it gets into your blood, and I've worked here and I'm passionate about the area and passionate about the youth in the area as well.
These are difficult times when our energy needs have rarely been more of a focus. The power of our coastline, a potential salvation, some argue, and a future for a workforce. Peter Harris, BBC Look North.
The government is set to invest around £100 million restarting operations at a Teesside plant which produces carbon dioxide for food and drink manufacturing after wider supplies were disrupted by the war in the Middle East. The NE&C's Lazenby site, which was mothballed last year, employs 100 people and another 3,000 in the supply chain. It will initially restart for 3 months as the government deals with the impact of the war with Iran.
One of the consequences of the conflict in the Middle East with Iran has been a constraint of supply for a number of chemical products, and there's an increase in fuel prices, which has impacted on the production of carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide's vital for our economy in a number of different ways, and the NE&C's plant as a whole is a very important part of the Bulletin chemicals cluster as well. So actually bringing this plant back online, I'm really pleased that we've managed to do that, because it also makes the Bulletin chemicals cluster more financially sustainable.
The leader of Reform UK has been in the region tonight. Nigel Farage has been holding a rally at the Sunderland Live Arena this evening as part of his party's local election launch. Elections will be held in Sunderland, Tyneside and Hartlepool on May the 7th. Mr Farage said the elections will be a major opportunity for his party.
I've come to Sunderland, here in the North East, where Labour have dominated local government and the MPs they've sent to Westminster for over 100 years. And I'm going to say tonight that this effectively becomes, even though they're local elections, it effectively becomes a referendum on Keir Starmer's premiership.
Well, we'll be hearing from the other parties in the run-up to those local elections, and you can find out if there are polls where you live by looking on the BBC website, bbc.co.uk/local elections. Now, two teams of youngsters representing Thornaby Chess Club in a tournament have beaten other teams, including ones comprising of adults, to face each other in a cup final. All-girls team Thornaby Queens faced boys team Thornaby Juniors after defeating other clubs in the region. The boys team managed to win on this occasion.
I'm really shocked that we actually made it through, because the amount of matches that we played, like, it's insane. But it's really competitive, but at the same time it's playing against people that I've played in the club with for many, many years. So it's good to see, like, each other grow in what we're doing.
Now, how's the weather doing? Here's Paul with the forecast.
Good evening. As we head towards the weekend, weather stays pretty unsettled and it will remain on the cool side. Overnight tonight, we've got a lot of cloud, we've got outbreaks of rain, fairly patchy and intermittent at first, becoming a bit more widespread later in the night, especially across Cumbria up onto the Pennines. Temperatures will hold up, not as cold as last night, nothing lower than about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius in that southwesterly wind. So it's a bit of a cloudy start tomorrow, outbreaks of rain for most of us, but that rain starts to move away south and east. We get something drier and brighter following on from the northwest, and then eventually some blustery showers coming in along the Scottish borders and into parts of Cumbria late in the day. Milder day though, 12 Celsius at best in the westerly breeze. Into the weekend, early showers on Saturday, clear to leave sunny spells, wet and windy at times on Sunday.
That's all from the late team. Thanks for joining us. Look North is back with bulletins